100.9.
From ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. Secretary of State Antony Blinken says the U.S. would strongly prefer to resolve the differences we have through diplomacy. But speaking in Australia, he said Russia may pursue military action against Ukraine.
We're in a window when an invasion could begin at any time. And to be clear, that includes during the Olympics.
The U.S. has advised all Americans to leave Ukraine. Talks between Russia and Ukraine in Germany Thursday failed to reach any kind of agreement. Auto production at several U.S. facilities is still being impacted by the closure of a bridge between Michigan and Windsor, Ontario. It's been blocked by truck drivers protesting vaccine mandates at the Canadian border. Drew Dilkins, the mayor of Windsor, Ontario, tells ABC.
Someone has to speak for the countries and the economy and the families who are suffering as a result of the closures of auto plants and other manufacturers as well.
President Biden told NBC News he's looking at about 4 names to select one to nominate to the Supreme Court. He met with the Senate Judiciary Committee on Thursday to discuss some contenders. Afterwards, Democrat Sheldon Whitehouse of Rhode Island said,
"We are very aware of the historic nature of this appointment and very proud of that."
Presidents vow to nominate a black woman. The National Archives asking the Justice Department to investigate whether former President Trump violated the Presidential Records Act regarding the preservation of White House documents. ABC's M. Wynn says this comes as reports emerge some documents taken contain classified information.
Former President Trump denying that he flushed official records down the toilet. In her upcoming book, New York Times reporter Maggie Haberman writes that workers in the White House periodically found toilets clogged with wads of paper. Trump calls the story categorically untrue and simply made up.
At the Olympics, American snowboarder Shaun White finished 4th in the halfpipe in his final competition. You're listening to ABC News.
Are you more than $10,000 in debt? Feel like you're on a never-ending treadmill, staying in one place and never getting ahead with those minimum payments? You feel like there's no way out? Don't let the credit card companies bully you anymore. There are programs in place to help you get free of your debt, and you don't have to pay the entire amount you owe. The program at Total Financial Freedom can help you get debt-free in months instead of decades. Get off the debt treadmill and stop the harassment. Get free of credit card debt, signature loans, department store cards, internet loans, and medical bills. Call now at 800-533-6605 for free information. For about 10 years, Total Financial Freedom has helped thousands. They're A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, too. Get off the endless cycle without having to declare bankruptcy. You'll have the right to settle your debt for a mere fraction of what you owe. Call Total Financial now at 800-533-6605. That's 800-533-6605.
Today's the day municipal workers in New York City face termination for not getting vaccinated against COVID-19. This involves about 3,000 municipal employees, less than 1% of the city's workforce. Mayor Eric Adams says these stragglers are not being fired, but instead are quitting on the city. The rest of the country, nearly a dozen states have now taken steps to end mask mandates. Indoor mandates expire in Delaware and Rhode Island today, despite the CDC's push to maintain indoor mask wearing. Nevada yesterday lifted its indoor mask order in public places, including casinos. The Super Bowl kicks off Sunday in Englewood, California. ABC's Alex Stone has the latest odds.
At least the way Las Vegas sees it, the LA Rams are 4.5-point favorites going into Sunday. The Bengals are the biggest long shot to reach the Super Bowl since the Rams back in 1999. The Bengals were preseason long shots. They won an NFL worst 2 games in 2019, only 4 games last season. They've made the quickest turnaround from worst to the Super Bowl in NFL history. Alex Stone, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Thursday night, Green Bay Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers won his 4th NFL Most Valuable Player award. Overnight in Philadelphia, 6 family members were stabbed while sleeping. A relative who lived in the home is under arrest. The police chief calling it a very violent scene. 5 victims were in stable condition. 1 is critical. This is ABC News.
Stop paying full price for gas. Download the free Get Upside app and get 25 cents per gallon cash back on every gallon of gas you buy. Don't miss out. Millions of people have earned over $200 cash back every month just by using Get Upside and getting gas, which you were going to do anyways. There's no catch. It's simple and free. Download the free Get Upside app now and use promo code HYBRID to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first fill up. That's promo code HYBRID.
Brian Clark, ABC News.
The reasons more and more people are coming to NC Tractor to do business are the selection of Massey Ferguson tractors, Bobcat zero-turn mowers, fantastic customer service, and the special Phil Sheehan seasonal discounts. NC Tractor on Railroad Avenue in Rutherford is making dreams come true for folks who want their list.
Good morning, everyone, and happy Friday. We're seeing a mostly clear sky to start your morning commute. For this afternoon, we'll see plenty of sunshine. Our highs today on the warmer side and back in the upper 60s and lower 70s. Mostly clear sky this evening and overnight tonight. We'll be starting off in the low to mid 40s Saturday morning, starting with sunshine, but then we'll see more clouds build in through Saturday afternoon. Temperatures warm again with highs in the upper 60s and lower 70s. Chance for a few rain showers on Sunday. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
It's a beautiful day to wake up to and a beautiful weekend to work in, around, and have fun. Right now it's 32 degrees, and we'll be warming up to about 62, but have some wind gusts to about 50 miles per hour. Now on Saturday, we're supposed to be warming up to about 64, and then on Sunday, highs around 50. Can you believe that? Spring-like weather here in the wintertime. But anyway, right now, let's enjoy. And thank you for waking up with us here at WCAB. Now I have these death announcements this morning. Jeffrey Lynn McCraw, age 58, unexpectedly died February the 9th in Forest City. The funeral service will be held 2 o'clock Saturday in the Adamville Baptist Church. The family will greet friends following the service. Burial will be private for the family. The Paget and King Mortuary is serving the McCraw family for Jeffrey Lynn McCraw. Michelle Walker Pettit, age 51, of Forest City, passed away Tuesday, February the 8th, at Pardee Hospital in Hendersonville. The funeral service will be conducted at 2 o'clock Tuesday, February 15th, at the Harrelson Funeral Chapel. Burial will follow in Eternal Hills Memorial Park. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to service time at the funeral home, and Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Service entrusted with the arrangements for Michelle Walker Pettit. Stanley Allen Lancaster died February the 8th at Atrium Health in Charlotte. Services will be held Monday, February the 14th at 12 o'clock at Victory Baptist Church in Ellenboro. Family will receive friends 1 hour prior to the service, and burial will follow at Rutherford County Cemetery with full military honors accorded by the Rutherford County Honor Guard. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services entrusted with the arrangements for Stanley Allen Lancaster. Gail Bailey, age 70, of Forest City, passed away Tuesday. A memorial service will be conducted at 3 o'clock Monday, February the 14th, at the Harrelson Funeral Chapel. Family will receive friends 1 hour prior to service time at the funeral home. Harrelson Funeral Home serving the family of Gail Bailey. Mary Jo Weiss Justice, age 84, of Henrietta, died Tuesday, February the 8th, at Fairhaven of Forest City. The funeral service will be held 3 o'clock Sunday, February 13th, at the Chase Baptist Church. Burial will follow at Rutherford County Memorial Cemetery. The family will receive friends from 1:30 until 2:45 Sunday in the Church Fellowship Hall. The Paget and King Mortuary and Crematory in charge of the arrangements for Mary Jo Weiss Justice. Betty Jean Brown Jones died February 3rd. A homegoing service will be held on Saturday, February 12th at 2 o'clock at Webb First Baptist Church in Ellenboro. A quiet hour will be held 1 hour prior to the service. Burial will follow at New Bethel Independent Church Cemetery located within the Doggett Grove Cemetery. Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of Betty Jean Brown. Edward Drasser III, 58, of Lake Lure, passed away Monday, February 7th, at Elizabeth House. A family-conducted memorial service will be held 1 o'clock Saturday at Father's Vineyard in Spindale. And Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of Edward Drasser III. Opal Roop Cole, age 97, of Rutherfordton, died Tuesday, February the 8th, at her home. The family will receive friends from 5 until 7 today at McMahon's Funeral Home. The funeral service will be at Keesler's Chapel United Methodist Church on Saturday at 1 o'clock. Burial will follow. Burial will be private at Eternal Hills Memorial Park. McMahon's Funeral Home and Cremation Service in charge of the arrangements for Opal Roop Cole. Susan R. Russell died February 6th. A celebration of Susie's life will be forthcoming, and Harrelson Funeral Home serving the family of Susan R. Russell. John R. Bridges, age 81, died Wednesday at Adrium Health, Cleveland and Shelby. Funeral arrangements are incomplete and will be announced by the Pageant A King Mortuary and Crematory for John R. Bridges.
Bill O'Reilly here, and I'm warming up from the NRIA.net studios in New York. Stand by for the O'Reilly Update Morning Edition. Investors, are you sitting on capital or wanting to diversify? The NRIA Real Estate Development Fund provides returns right now. They capitalize on strategic markets. They offer steady monthly payouts plus double-digit annualized returns. Start your due diligence at NRIA.net or call 800-800-1414. That's easy. 800-800-1414.
An offer of securities is only made by the NRIA Private Placement Memorandum. Read it first. Past performance does not guarantee future results. NRIA is a real estate development firm. Learn more at NRIA.net.
On this Friday, it is the beginning of Super Bowl weekend. The game on Sunday has the LA Rams versus the Cincinnati Bengals. I think most people are rooting for the Bengals. They are the underdog. But the game is not what they call a marquee matchup as last year when you had Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. So I'll watch the game, but I don't really like the National Football League. It is now putting on a halftime show, as I've reported this week, that features rappers who have espoused, encouraged violence against American police. So what the deuce is wrong with the National Football League? What it comes down to is that most of the players are African American, and many of them feel very strongly that America is a bad place. And this is reflected in what the National Football League does. Now, I admire any athlete who can make it to the NFL. That is a tremendous achievement. So I'd like to see no race at all in this. But unfortunately, like almost everything else in our country, pro football has been infected by divisive racial beliefs. And that is what we are all facing on Super Bowl Sunday. So I'll watch the game, but the Super Bowl show shouldn't be happening. Now this. AMAC is the leading conservative advocacy and benefits organization. AMAC gives you access to exclusive benefits, insightful news, and a magazine full of uncensored content. They are pushing back against efforts to defund the police, weaken the borders, and corrupt our youth. But they need your help. Please stand with AMAC at amac.us. That's amac.us. That is the Morning O'Reilly Update. More analysis later on.
Good morning, everybody. Time to get up and greet the world with a smile. And remember, you can do anything you want in life, but so can anyone else, so you'll just have to wait in line. Have a nice day.
This is WCAB Rutherfordton, 590 AM, and now on FM at 100.9 FM.
This is Gilbert. I'm back on the air every Saturday from 8 to 9. So put on a pot of coffee, sit down, and listen to Gilbert Talks Taxes. You just might learn something.
When Sam Frazier was in his early 20s, he went to Texas and eventually joined the Texas Rangers Company C Frontier Battalion. Frazier tended to uphold the law only when it was to his advantage. Locals described him as hard-faced and battle-scarred. He's known to have killed a couple of men for their money. On another occasion, he was slightly wounded by a homeowner while ransacking his home. In retaliation, some of his buddies killed the homeowner and wounded his wife. Frazier was disliked by the Hispanics on both sides of the border, so they put a $1,000 reward on his head. Because of the controversy around Frazier, his boss, J.C. Ford, passed him over for promotion. This obviously didn't improve Frazier's attitude. Indirectly, Frazier threatened his boss's life. Then later, when Frazier was headed to town, Ford told him he couldn't go heeled. Frazier came out with the "this town isn't big enough" statement, only it was Texas Rangers Company C wasn't big enough for Ford and me. Eventually, Ford agreed because on January 31, 1878, when Sam Frazier was getting off his horse, Ford called out his name and fired him on the spot. Actually, what Ford did was fire off one barrel of his shotgun, and as Frazier was on the ground pleading for mercy, Ford fired 5 rounds from his pistol. A hearing was held for Frazier's boss, J.C. Ford, to make sure the firing was in accordance with company policy. It was decided that because of threats and Frazier's dangerous disposition, it was a good firing. You've just heard another story from Old West Radio. I'm Dakota Livesay.
Jesse James Railroad Express has added 2 new sandwiches to their menu. Try the all-new crispy chicken sandwich with lettuce, tomato, and mayonnaise, or the crispy deluxe with lettuce, tomato, mayonnaise, bacon, and cheese. And now, the new beer-battered fish sandwich. All come with sides. Enjoy a refreshing milkshake or a hand-dipped ice cream cone. Open Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. until 4 p.m. Closed Wednesday and Sunday. Jesse James Railroad Express, 531 Railroad Avenue in Rutherford. Call 828-447-4644. Mondays only, hot dog with mustard, chili, and onions for only $1.24 each. All aboard the Jesse James Railroad Express.
Well, so thank goodness it's finally Friday Friends Day here on WCAB, and we're ready to go to the phones and find out what's been happening in the past 24 hours. And Sergeant Weathers with the Sheriff's Department gets us started. Good morning, sir. How you doing today?
I'm good, and you?
Yes, sir. Doing great. Thank you. Tell us what's been on the program.
For the last 24 hours, the Sheriff's Office has responded to 129 calls for service. The jail has processed 18 arrests, and they are currently housing 158 inmates in the jail. On our incident reports, we have Karen Carpenter of Mooresboro reported a misdemeanor larceny. A white Ozark Trail cooler was stolen off her porch. We have a larceny motor vehicle reported by Adrian Camp of Forest City. That was a black and color Ford F-150 2003 model. We have a break and entering reported by James Curtis of Shelby, and he reported nothing was stolen on that incident. And we have a first-degree trespass and misdemeanor larceny reported by the Avondale Convenience Center on Ellenborough Henrietta Road. They had some scrap metal that was stolen. On our arrest reports, we have a James Pruitt of Ellenborough arrested for possession of Schedule II controlled substance and possession of drug paraphernalia. We have a Kayla Church of Ellenborough arrested for felony possession of Schedule II controlled substance and possession of drug paraphernalia. Brian Hendricks of Mooresboro was arrested for 3 counts of failure to appear on a felony. Billy Blanton of Mooresboro was arrested for failure to appear on a misdemeanor, 2 counts. Nicholas Bradley of Ellenborough was arrested for larceny motor vehicle and failure to appear on a misdemeanor. Brian Shade of Lincolnton was arrested for failure to appear on a misdemeanor. Sherry Thompson of Ellenborough was arrested for felony probation violation. Leslie Ollis of Shelby was arrested for resisting a public officer. Ethan Towery of Ballstick was arrested on a true bill of indictment. Erin Isu of Rutherford was arrested for failure to appear on a misdemeanor. I think she had 9 counts total on that. And Nathan Harrell of Forest City was served with a show cause for failure to pay fines. And finally, we have Brandon Johnson of Ballstick was arrested for possession with intent to manufacture, sell, deliver methamphetamine, sell methamphetamine, deliver methamphetamine, maintain and place a controlled substance, sell or deliver heroin, and deliver heroin. He received a $35,000 secure bond on that charge. That's all we have for you today.
Sergeant Weather, thank you so much for that report, and you be safe out there this weekend.
Thank you.
See you now. That's the show's report. 911 Communications Center coming up next.
Thinking about the departure of a loved one through death is a subject we don't like to talk about. However, pre-planning or prepaying for a funeral is a consideration and responsible thing to do. With so many options available today, it's important to speak with someone you can trust and someone who can help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved ones. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory is recognized as one of the best family-run funeral homes. It's a family tradition, and they know how to care for your family. Any questions you might have, they will be happy to answer. Call Crow's Mortuary and Cremation Services at 286-2304.
Here's Marie now reporting from the Communications Center with our Friday morning report. Marie, good morning. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Tell us what's on your list.
Okay, in the past 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 Communications Centers processed 395 911 administrative calls, which consisted of 38 for EMS. For law enforcement, the Sheriff's Department had 129, Forest City had 54, Lake Lure had 9, Rutherford had 33, Spindale had 44. For fire calls, Hudlow responded to a motor vehicle accident, Rutherford responded to a fire alarm, Sandy Mush responded to a motor vehicle accident, UMLs responded to a structure fire assisted by Green Hill, Rutherford and Hudlow, and that's all I have for the morning.
Thanks so much. You have a good day and a good weekend.
Thank you. You too.
Bye. Today we're being kind to Holly and Richard Tony of Union Mills. It's their 13th wedding anniversary. Actually, yesterday was their wedding anniversary, and we're celebrating that today. So we want you to be kind to them when you see them or give them a call and wish them well.
Hey, folks, you know, Farmer's Friend Feed, Seed, and Supply is an amazing store. I can say that because they have what you need. From pet supplies to fire and ant killer to horse-quality Timothy alfalfa hay, $14 per bale. Attention carp fishermen, they have C&J flavoring, only $8 per bottle. And they have oats for sale. Refill your propane tanks at the lowest price. Fully stocked with all your deer supplies and a great selection of farm implements. Need mulch? $12 per scoop. We could call it a superstore. Farmer's Friend Feed, Seed, and Supply, 188 Whiteside Road in Rutherford.
Now, Danieltown SDO Fire District is where we're stopping next, and Ruby Taylor is reporting from over there. Ruby, good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. How about you?
Yeah, I'm doing great. What's on your report?
The fire department didn't have any calls, Jim. And on my birthday calendar, I've got Philip Luckadoo and Ramona Kenji. And Mr. and Ms. Mike Street is having an anniversary today, and hope they have a nice day. And tomorrow, Sandra Robbins and Emily Russ and Catherine Whitaker's having birthdays tomorrow. And then Sunday, Sean Baynard is having a birthday, and hope he has a nice day. And the Sandra and the Breast today, tomorrow, and Sunday off. And Jim, that's all I got.
Ruby, are you going to be glued to the TV Sunday night watching the Super Bowl?
Are you kidding?
I thought that might be your entertainment for the night.
No.
Yeah.
I don't like football. I don't like football.
Yeah, well, there's always a Hallmark channel.
I'll find me a search word puzzle book and sit down at it.
There you go. Have a good weekend, Ruby.
You too.
Right,
bye-bye.
Let me brag on Hutchins Pest Control a minute. Don't let the pest bug you when Hutchins Pest Control is as close as a phone call. Honest, dependable, professional, and on-time service may be the reason they keep getting voted best pest control. If you have a pest problem, call this family-run business at 287-5171. Licensed in North and South Carolina and fully insured and bonded. Get a free estimate when you call Hutchins Pest Control and be sure the job is done right. That's Hutchins Pest Control. Call them today at 287-5171 and they'll be right there.
Cheryl, I've been talking to Tommy and David, the outside salesmen at Henson Building Materials in Forest City. They're going to help us navigate through our remodeling project.
Well, I know they have tons of experience, so we'll be in good hands.
Good hands is right. Even professional builders shop there because they trust the quality products and service.
And did you know they have a great relationship with our community, too? Oh, they're so nice.
Henson Building Materials, 177 Duke Street, Forest City.
Building starts here.
Now let's say good morning to DeVern over in Bostic to get a report from there. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
I'm doing very well. Hope you are.
I'm doing great.
Well, up here in Bostic, we have temperature of 34 degrees. The Bostic Fire Department assisted Cherry Mountain with a field fire and a barn fire. We have 2 firemen that celebrating birthdays, Cody Painter and Aaron Bradley. We want to wish them a happy birthday. Don't forget to stop by or call Bostic Floors for your Valentine order. The Blessed Box located at Depot Street. Stop by and leave a blessing. It was stocked yesterday. Real good. And Washburn's Outreach is giving out food again today from 9 to 12. And we have a few more birthdays. Lisa Melton, Linda Flynn, and River Ben. River turns 2, and she's my great-granddaughter. I want to wish all of them a happy birthday. And also Miss Norma K. Eubanks had a birthday. She turned 80. We hope she enjoyed her birthday. And everyone have a safe day and have a wonderful weekend and get ready for the Super Bowl.
All right, you going to be watching that game?
Probably not.
Well, there's always something else to watch.
Oh, yes. You got your Valentine's thought up?
Well, not yet. But
Not yet.
I'll get there.
You'll get there before Monday.
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
You have a good weekend.
Have a good one.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Nobody gets a better deal than the customers at Sisk Family Ford. They have a proven record of the best deals. Sisk Family Ford, Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealer, has recently been recognized as the #1 Ford dealer in customer satisfaction in the Southeast. That speaks well of their commitment to serve their customers well. Look for all the new design 2021 F-150 at Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealership. That's Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City. Or let's go to Bob Hodge now and find out about what's happening over in the Hudlow Fire District. Good morning, Bob.
Well, good Friday morning.
It's another one. I'm happy to have one, aren't you?
That's right. We've about made another week here.
That's right.
But, boy, ain't been having some pretty days here the last couple of days. So
Yeah, and I believe we got some more of them coming up.
I believe it's going to spoil us. If it get cold, it's going to hurt again, ain't it?
Exactly right.
Well, Jim, things are going along pretty good so far up here this morning with the fire department. We've checked out one smoke report, and then we assisted Union Mills on a structure fire. I want to say happy birthday to Philip Mabrier and Charlie Burgess this morning. And also birthday for Saturday, Quentin Samuels. And, Jim, that's about it up here this morning. And
Bob, do you have any information on that accident over in Hudlow yesterday near Cornerstone Church?
no, I don't have any more on it. I know they transferred one to the helicopter to the hospital, but that's all I have on it. So.
Okay, all right. Tragic thing.
Now.
Always tragic when we have those kind of reports. But, Bob, I appreciate you, and thank you for being with us, and you have a great weekend.
Well, you too, Jim.
All right, bye.
All right, bye.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
Let's check in now with Sue Price over the Cherry Mountain Fire District and see what's been happening. Good morning, Sue.
Good morning, Jim.
You all set for the weekend?
I reckon so.
A lot of wild parties to go to and attend over the weekend?
We're just hanging in mostly.
Okay, well.
Don't get out much anymore.
Well, I won't worry about you getting arrested then over the weekend if you're going to be staying in.
All right. Well, let's see. I have nothing on my church calendar or my personal calendar for today. So, and let's see. First Broad doesn't have anything today on theirs. Fairview's got a birthdays for Marla Upton and Vanda Withers. So I hope those girls will have a good day today and enjoy it. And hope anybody that's having a birthday or anniversary will have a real good day on a special day. Looks like they're going to have a beautiful day for it. Hope this weather will hold out for the weekend. It's been really pretty the last couple of days.
Sure has.
And let's see, in my announcements, the blood drive coming up Monday, the 14th, at Golden Valley Community Clubhouse from 3 to 7 p.m. And they are needing lots of blood now, so if you're able to give and can, come on out. And as far as I know, that's the only announcement I have. I know Eva stopped by a few minutes yesterday. She said they'd been having trouble with their phone of all times.
That's not good.
Florists have trouble with the phone.
Really? That's not good for a
But
weekend
anyway,
like
I
this.
hope everybody will be patient with them. And I think it's just a hard time to be without the phone. But anyway, they've got it sort of coming on her cell phone now. And they promised to get it'd probably get fixed by Saturday.
Oh, my goodness.
That's terrible, isn't it?
Mm.
But anyway, just be patient. They'll be getting to you as soon as they can when they...
Well...
But anyway,
they do a good job.
Everybody will have a good day, and I hope you'll have a good day and a good weekend, Jim.
You too, Sue. Enjoy yourself, and I will see you next time.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Well, if you're unhappy and not pleased at all with your tax preparer, you need to find somebody that you will be pleased with. You know, nothing strikes fear in the hearts of people more than receiving an IRS audit letter in the mail. Audits take much time away from your business and family, requiring you to gather mounds of records, and can become overwhelming unless you have someone you can depend on to take care of that for you. That's why we can recommend IE Accounting and Tax Service. Chris and his team of professionals are in the business to help. Even if you depended on someone else to prepare your taxes, IE Accounting and Tax Service will be glad to assist you or your company. Don't hesitate to call. As a small business owner, you have more important things to do than keep your own books. Why not let IE Accounting and Tax Service take care of that for you, so you can get back to the job of running your business? Consider their payroll solutions for your business, cash flow management, litigation support, and forensic investigation. Why not give them a call and see what they can do for your business? Here's that phone number, 828-395-1777. They're at 211 West Main Street, Spindale. Again, that's 395-1777, and it's spelled ARYEE. Now it's 7:32. Friday morning report continues. Let's go up to Shingle Hollow, North Carolina, US of A, and talk with Tina White. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I am fine as snuff, but not quite as dusty. How are you on this wonderful Friday?
Well, what was that used to say? If your snuff too strong, get two bros. Get two bros. You're too young to remember that radio commercial years ago. But if your stuff's too strong, it's wrong. Get two bros. Get two bros. I don't even know if I'm two bros stuff anymore.
Going to have to check that out on search engine.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. I don't know if it'd be worth checking that out or not, but
oh, it might. Yeah, I like history. Well, today is a very important day up here on White Drive in Shingle Hollow, North Carolina. My mother and father-in-law are celebrating their anniversary, and it's their 50th anniversary. So Faye and Norris, happy anniversary. And I know to be kind to Richard and Holly Tony, so I hope they have a wonderful 13th anniversary yesterday, but we'll be kind to them today.
Well, we understand somebody had written a date down wrong. That anniversary is not coming up until April, I believe it is. So we apparently we wrote it down wrong. I don't know which is correct. I guess someone called and said Holly and Richard anniversary wasn't until April. So we took it off and changed it. So anyway, we wish them all day. We wish them a happy day anyway.
That's right. Holly was the Nevaeh's kindergarten teacher, and she was so wonderful and just so humble and kind and smart. And Richard is a friend of my son's, and they're both just very, very wonderful people.
Well, they deserve 2 days.
They do, yes. And if anybody knows Norris and Faye White, call them today and tell them happy anniversary. So let's get to the fire department. Shingle Hollow Fire Department they assisted Green Hill with a brush fire, and then they stood by Green Hill while Green Hill assisted Union Mills with the structure fire over at Gilkey Lumber. There was just some sawdust caught on fire on a roof, and they got it put out, minimal damage and no injuries, so we're very thankful for our fire departments. Yesterday down at Green River Baptist Association, we went down to the soup kitchen, and Miss Dorothy Hudgens came in, and I hope she's listening this morning. She recognized me by my voice from the radio. So
Sure.
I want to say good morning, Dorothy Hudgens. And for birthdays, we have a birthday for Wanda Elliott. She's on Pleasant Grove's calendar. And we have a happy anniversary on Piney Knob to, of course, Norris and Faye, and a happy birthday to Richard Weinberger. And then a friend of mine, Miss Charlotte Fish, is celebrating a birthday today, and Beth Robertson. And Piney Knob Baptist Church says come out tomorrow afternoon at 5 p.m. for a Valentine's dinner. They'll have chicken cordon bleu and pork chops with the sides, and it's donations only. Bring your sweetheart, bring your whole family. Just come on out for our dinner at 5 p.m. at Piney Knob Baptist. And then mark your calendars, February 27th, which is a Sunday, at 5 p.m. The Deddy sisters will be at Piney Knob Baptist Church. All is invited. We love to see those girls and hear them and listen to their testimony of their mama. Such a great day when they're around. So that's all I've got going on right now that I know of.
Hey, listen, I've had chicken cordon bleu many times in my life, but I never have known what cordon bleu means. What is that?
Now, Jim, you're putting me on the spot. I think it's like chicken stuffed with ham and cheese or something like that, isn't it?
I think that's what it is, but I wonder what the cordon bleu, what is that, French or what does that mean exactly?
Well, all I know is it's not English.
That'll be another Google search.
Yeah, we'll just have to say, what is cordon bleu?
Thank you for the report, and you have a great weekend and enjoy yourself.
You too, and have a great weekend, and enjoy the Super Bowl.
Bye-bye. And that's 37 minutes after 7 o'clock now, the Shingle Hollow Report. Nice and easy going up there. Now we'll get to Union Mills after this.
Your car's best friend can be RS Speedy Lube Service Center. That's because RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids and vacuum out the car and have you on your way in no time. Go next door for a radiator or transmission flush. Brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers also available. Pull next door to the RS Speedy Automatic Car Wash and make your car happy with a clean, all under and all over car wash. It's all at RS Service Center and Car Wash on Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton.
All right, now let's head up toward Union Mills, and let's see if Brenda Kelly is ready on the spot to give us a report. Hi, Brenda.
Good morning. How are you on this fabulous Friday morning?
Oh, great. It's a great day. Great day to be alive.
That's right. And you got the weekend off, haven't you?
Well, from here I do, yeah.
From here? Have you got a honey-do list?
I've got one so long I can stretch from here to Rutherfordton.
I hear you.
Yeah, I found out my crack morning producer, Todd, just told me what cordon bleu means. It means of the highest class.
Well, whoop-de-doo.
Of the highest class. So when you have chicken cordon bleu, you have chicken of the highest class.
Well,
I do
we used to have chicken cordon bleu down at the home every now and then.
Yeah.
When I worked there.
I like chicken como fried.
I like mine fried too. I don't care for the cordon bleu. No. If I want ham, I want ham. I don't want chicken in with it. Oh me. But we hope everybody's having a good day. I don't have any birthdays or any anniversaries, but in ways of announcements. Breakfast Saturday the 12th from 7 to 10 a.m. at Gilkey School Community Center. Adults, $7. Kids, 6 to 12, $3, and 5 and under is free. And then Saturday, February the 26th, Union Mills Wilderness Race, 5K, 10K, and virtual options. In-person race starts at 10 a.m. The cost is $25. Pre-register at the website Information Fund on UMLC Facebook page or by contacting 828-429-5871. And so far, that's all I know of going on up here. Just short, sweet, quiet, and some beautiful days.
All right, are you geared up for the Super Bowl Sunday night? You going to watch it, or you going to put a puzzle together?
You know I don't do football. I do basketball.
Yeah, well, they don't have a Super Bowl in basketball.
No, but they have March Madness.
Which is coming up pretty soon.
That's exactly right. Yeah. And I'm looking forward to it. My team ain't really done that good, but they ain't done that bad. But we at least won that game the other night by 2 points.
That's right. They're doing okay. They'll be all right when it comes to the March Madness and ACC tournament. They always seem to come alive.
Yeah, they'll come alive. And
did you ever get your Tar Heel poster, by the way?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, so
got it hanging in my hallway. I sure have.
I got about 3 left. So if anybody needs one, I've got about 3 of them left. So.
Yeah, I always try to get that, and I got my what's that calendar? Norman Rockwell calendar too. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
All right,
so
Brandon.
I'm in good shape.
You got it all squared away up there.
That's right. So you have a good weekend, and you better get that Valentine.
All right. I'll see you next time.
Catch you later.
Bye-bye. That's the Kelly Report from Upstate Union Mills. Now it's 7:41, and it's time to go over to Ellenboro.
It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide a daycare service for an aging parent or a loved one. You can always depend on Rutherford Life Services for a safe facility that offers medical monitoring, nutritional meals, fun activities, and is a loving environment. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. They will be glad to answer any questions you may have. Call them at 288-1697. Rutherford Life Services offers a trained staff of professionals who you can entrust your loved one to. Rutherford Life Services is located at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale.
Let's say good morning to Luther Gilligan. He reports things to us from Ellenboro. He's on the phone with me right now to give us that news. Good morning, Luther.
Good morning. Good time down here this morning.
Good time to be alive, isn't it?
It is. It's Friday. Everybody gets to be off the weekend. Going to have a pretty day tomorrow. So looking good. It's quiet there this morning. The fire department is fairly quiet. It didn't have anything yesterday. Had to go out this morning a little after midnight. Medical call. Other than that, they've been quiet. And that's going on with them. So nothing else happening. So Jim, you have a great day up there. Enjoy your weekend. We'll talk to you Monday.
All right. Enjoy the Super Bowl.
All right. Take care.
See you now. And that's a wrap-up from Ellenboro. And we will open up the phone lines now for birthdays and anniversaries for the 11th day of February. February 11th, call us and let's share your birthdays. 287-3356. We've got a few to celebrate, so maybe yours should be in here. 287-3356.
Does your financial advisor take the time to really listen to you? Is your financial strategy personalized for you and your family? Will your financial advisor be there as your life and financial situation change? Hi, I'm Andrew Tisdale, your local Edward Jones financial advisor. When we work together, we focus what's important to you. We create a personalized strategy backed by our advice, our tools, and resources to help you reach your goals. And we partner together to help your strategy stay on track no matter what happens. Contact me at any time at 828-287-9197. We'll sit down, talk, and we're going to make a strategy that's right for you.
Thank you, Sir Andrew. Hey, listen, if you like omelets for breakfast, go by Granny B's. They got an omelet style, 3 eggs for just $6.25. You get a plain omelet, you get a cheese omelet, or Western omelet, served with cottage fried potatoes, choice of bacon, sausage patties, or links, ham steak, also a choice of 2 pancakes, biscuit or toast. They also have French toast, 3 slices and 2 slices, and blueberry, strawberry, or maple flavored syrup, side of sausage gravy. All of that's available for your asking at Granny B's, right in Main Street, Spindale there. And they always have great coffee. They got a great coffee machine there. And you can, frappe, let me see what, let me look over here. They got espresso, Americano, latte, cappuccino, And they have hot chocolate, special frappe. They got it all. Granny B's, there in Spindale, right next to the Shake Shop. Go out and have breakfast with them this morning.
Happy birthday.
Well, happy birthday wishes going out to Vanda Withers this morning. Vanda turns a big 50, so happy birthday, young lady. And we wish you the many more happy returns. Other folks celebrating today, 1847, Thomas Edison was born. He died in 1931. 1919, Eva Gabor was born. She died in 1995. 1926, Leslie Nielsen was born. He was a great actor. Loved him in Airport. He died in 2010. 1936, Burt Reynolds was born. Died in 2018. 1938, Bobby Boris Pickett was born. Died in 2007. Other events on this day include 1938, world's first science fiction TV program aired. 1942, Archie comic books debuted. 1945, first gas turbine-powered propeller-driven aircraft tested. 1949, Lovesick Blues by Hank Williams released. In 1964, Beatles' first live performance in the U.S. happened on this day, 1964. This is also Don't Cry Over Spilt Milk Day, National Inventors Day, National Make a Friend Day, National Peppermint Patty Day, and National Shut-In Visitation Day, and National White Shirt Day. So all those days are important today, especially Let's Make a Friend. And now you're up to date on this date in history right here at WCAB. Keys to Confident Living coming up next.
Financial giving to religious organizations is deeply rooted in Scripture and is taught and encouraged in most churches. A 6-year-old girl was sitting beside her father in a Sunday morning worship service. When it was time for the offering plate to be passed, the girl wanted to participate. The father agreed, thinking this would be one of those good teaching moments. He handed her a $1 bill and also talked about how God loves a cheerful giver. As the usher handed the girl the offering plate, she looked at him with a rather blank stare. Finally, she blurted out rather loudly, "Mister, don't you have change for $1?" The congregation could not hear what the embarrassed father said to the girl, but it didn't take them long to figure it out. The little girl spoke up again and said, "But Daddy, I'd be a more cheerful giver if I could give some to the Lord and buy a candy bar too." The writer of the Proverbs reminds us that one man gives freely, yet gains even more. Another withholds unduly, but comes to poverty. He then summarizes his thoughts on giving by saying, "A generous man will prosper. He who refreshes others will himself be refreshed." God truly wants us to give with a joyful spirit and reminds us that as we give generously, we will also reap generously. This is Bill Hostler with today's Key to Confident Living.
This is Gilbert. I'm back on the air every Saturday from 8 to 9. So put on a pot of coffee, sit down, and listen to Gilbert Talks Taxes. You just might learn something.
Good morning, everybody. Time to get up and greet the world with a smile. And remember, no matter what you do today, someday you'll probably have to do it again. Have a nice day.
music, WCAB.
From ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. President Biden acknowledged real stress at the kitchen table produced by inflation. The latest numbers show is at a level not seen in 40 years. More from ABC's Morgan Norwood.
Americans are experiencing the fastest pace of inflation in 4 decades. Families now spending $275 more per month on average on everything from groceries to gas.
Inflation is up. It's up. And coming from a family when the price of gas went up, you felt it in the household.
Consumer costs skyrocketing 7.5% compared to this time last year, the highest level since 1982.
President also said Thursday he's considering about 4 people for the vacant seat on the Supreme Court. He's pledged to nominate a black woman. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, meeting with regional allies in Australia, reiterated the call for American citizens to leave Ukraine amid Russia's military buildup.
We're in a window when an invasion could begin at any time. And to be clear, that includes during the Olympics.
Those Olympics in Beijing now being clouded by a drug scandal. Russian figure skating star Kamila Valieva tested positive for a banned substance in December. Russia's anti-doping agency allowed her to compete, a decision now being appealed by the World Anti-Doping Agency and International Testing Agency. IOC spokesman Mark Adams said there needs to be urgent resolution.
We want to expedite this as quickly as possible. It's a legal issue, and legal issues, unfortunately, can be very, very complicated.
This would determine if Valieva could compete in the singles competition where she's favored to win. Summer conditions at the Super Bowl in Los Angeles, a big shock for Bengals fans like Tamika arriving to Southern California from Ohio. Temperatures close to 90 degrees.
When I left, it was 22 degrees. Flights were canceled, and so, our flight was packed. I got on a tank top.
You're listening to ABC News.
Here's some great news. If you missed the deadline to sign up for health insurance, or if, like a lot of people, you just have a plan you're not happy with, you still have a choice. It's called MediShare. It's a Christian healthcare sharing program. There are more than 400,000 members now, and they love it. In fact, MediShare has double the customer satisfaction rate compared to that of health insurance. And MediShare really is the gold standard when it comes to healthcare sharing. It's been around more than 25 years. Members have shared more than $4 billion of each other's medical bills. Plus, MediShare is for you. It has saved its members billions by advocating on their behalf. Best of all, the typical savings for a family is around $6,000 a year. So if you think you're stuck with a high-cost health plan that doesn't have much to offer, think again. MediShare has a 98% customer satisfaction rating, and you are invited to be part of it. Call now. 877-26-BIBLE. That's 877-26-BIBLE. 877-26-BIBLE.
Questions about what former President Trump took with him to his home in South Florida and whether that broke the law. ABC's M. Wynn has more.
Former President Trump is facing new scrutiny over his handling of classified information after he took 15 boxes of presidential records with him when he left office, including letters from North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un. The Washington Post reports some of those documents, which have since been returned to the National Archives, were clearly marked classified. Trump denies any wrongdoing, saying he took the boxes so he could one day display the documents at his presidential library.
The former president also denying a report that he flushed documents down White House toilets. Abortions in Texas fell by 60% in the first month of the state's restrictive new abortion law. New figures show nearly 2,200 abortions in September compared to over 5,400 in August. Planned Parenthood calls the numbers the very beginning of the devastating impact of the law, which offers payments to private citizens who successfully sue anyone who performs or helps a woman to get an abortion after about 6 weeks. Elon Musk predicts the first orbital flight of the towering SpaceX Starship will happen this year. He's awaiting final approval. NASA plans to use it to land astronauts on the moon as early as 2025. It's the world's most powerful rocket, also the tallest at almost 400 feet. This is ABC News.
What's all the buzz about nasal irrigation and navage? Here's the science. Airborne germs invade through your nose. When your nose gets clogged, it's less effective and germs multiply. Eventually, your immune system can get overwhelmed and you get sick. Navage pulls out the bad stuff so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier. At Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, Bed Bath, and Walmart. Or go to Navage.com for a free gift with purchase. Navage, Navage.
Brian Clark, ABC News.
Hello, everyone. We made it to a Friday, and we are going to see a beautiful day ahead. Expect a mostly sunny and warm day, breezy at times as well, with highs today in the upper 60s and lower 70s. For any evening and overnight plans you may have, expect a mostly clear sky. Temperatures will start in the low to mid 40s Saturday morning. Saturday afternoon, we'll see the clouds slowly increase. Expect a partly cloudy sky. Warm again as well, but then we'll see some colder temperatures with a chance for rain showers on Sunday. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
And we drop back below freezing this morning. Again, we're in the freezer locker, 30 degrees right now, but it won't take long. It'll be moving up real fast. We're getting up to about 64, maybe 62 today, 64 tomorrow, and sunny skies. So we have to drop back, then drop up, and we'll be set for a beautiful, beautiful weekend here in the Carolinas, including listening area of WCAB. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening to us as much as you can in the mornings. I know many of you travel and move around and go to work and come home from work and take your kids to school and come home, and some of you don't go to work at all. You're retired, and we appreciate all of you, whoever you are, whatever you're doing to be in our audience. I've bragged many times, and I think I've got the best audience in the whole wide world. I've got news from here and there. Also, this hour, in just the next few minutes, we'll be having another drawing for the Be My Baby Valentine promotion. And that's another good one, and we'll have all that right here in just a moment.
For a delicious meal every day, call on Gregory's Original. Choose from their top menu of burgers, subs, grinders, pasta dishes, fresh salads, and so much more. All dishes are prepared fresh daily. Hours are Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. until 9 p.m., Saturday, noon until 9 p.m. Now at Gregory's, try the family-style meals. The dining room is now open, but curbside and takeout is still available. Enjoy lunch or dinner today with your favorite meal from Gregory's. Call 287-2171, located in the Park Lane Plaza in Rutherford. Gregory's Original.
Some of the news from here and there. The Daily Courier is reporting that an Ellenboro man was convicted and sentenced between 10.5 and 13.5 years for the attempted statutory sex offense and indecent liberties with a child 2 years ago. Bobby Joe Wood, 71, was tried and convicted last month for the sex crime involving a 10-year-old girl. The victim resisted Wood's attempts, and he was caught in the act when another adult walked by the room, saw what he was doing, and screamed. Despite the trauma of the incident, the victim braved the court proceedings and testified to what happened to her, according to the district attorney's office. District Attorney Ted Bell posted on social media, "We'd like to thank the jury for their verdict in support of this victim and the victim's family for their love, care, and encouragement of the victim during the stress, anxiety, and emotions of the trial. We thank Detective Julie Green with the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office for her thorough investigation and testimony during the trial. We also want to recognize and thank Rachel Elder, the family advocate with the Clara Allen Family Center, Rutherford County's Child Advocacy Center, who is a tremendous help to us and the victim by providing support and assistance to the victim through the court process and trial." He was convicted between 10 and 13 years. Well, after 2 years of a calendar configuration that provides for the fall semester to end at Christmas break and the second semester to resume upon return in January, the Rutherford County Schools may again return to a calendar in which the first semester ends in mid-January. School calendars for the 22-23 school year were a topic of discussion at the Board Education meeting on Tuesday night. Daily Courier is reporting that they typically operate on 3 separate calendars. Students at Rutherford Early College High School have a calendar that closely aligns with the Isothermal Community College calendar. Forest City Dunbar Elementary School has for years operated on a more year-round schedule with a shorter summer break and longer breaks between grading periods. The majority of Rutherford County schools, however, have for years followed a calendar whereby the first semester doesn't end until after students return from Christmas break, including for the high schools. Final exams for the first semester. The primary reason for this is that state law mandates that the school year begin no later than the Monday closest to August 26th and then no later than the Friday closest to June 11th. The reasoning behind these rules appears to have nothing to do with education. The key reason for starting school late, many say, is because the idea is pushed by travel and tourism officials who want families to be able to vacation well into August. Schools are still required to have the same number of instructional hours, 180 days or 1,025 hours. School officials and school board members seemed uneasy with this prospect. Because of the way the days fall on the calendar for August, there would be an even greater imbalance in the length of 2 semesters, while ideally each semester would be 90 days long according to a draft presented to the Board of Education. First semester would have 78 days, while the second semester would have 102 days. So they could return to a more balanced semester if they get their agreements together. Well, North Carolina Farm Bureau awarded Trudy Jackson of Chase Middle School an Ag in Classroom Going Local grant. There is no more valuable resource in North Carolina than our students and the teachers charged with their education, said North Carolina Farm Bureau President Sean Harding. Through our Ag in the Classroom program, the state's farmers are investing in the future leaders of North Carolina, as well as the future of agriculture, which is the state's top economic sector. North Carolina Farm Bureau provides agricultural outreach grants to North Carolina teachers through its Ag in the Classroom Going Local program, and the county farm bureaus play an integral part in providing information regarding the grants and curriculum to teachers throughout North Carolina. North Carolina private and public school teachers are eligible for the grants, which are available twice a year. And congratulations to Chase Middle School, Trudy Jackson. Well, one person is in custody after a 12-hour standoff with police that began at 2:35 a.m. Monday over in Shelby. According to investigators, 2 women were held captive in a home in the 700 block of Vale Street in Shelby. When officers arrived at the home, one woman came out immediately while another walked out 30 minutes later, according to Shelby Police Chief Jeff Ledford. Though the woman exited the house, their alleged captor, Shannon Lushan Porty, did not. Ledford said, "We called our troops in and talked with him. We used our negotiators. Fortunately, patience paid off. We were fortunate in this." Ledford said with help from Porty's family, he was coaxed out of the house about 3 p.m. Investigators are still piecing together what happened inside the house prior to that standoff. Ledford said, "We have the side of the 2 ladies. We want to get his side of it. We want to get to the bottom of it." Investigators reportedly recovered guns from the house. While spending hours outside in freezing rain and below freezing temperatures wasn't desirable, Ledford said patience is the key in keeping situations like Monday from escalating to potential violence. Porty, 43, was taken into custody and charged with first-degree kidnapping, assault by pointing a gun, and communicating threats. He made a first appearance in court Tuesday morning and being held on a $75,000 bond. Police have arrested a North Carolina couple on multiple charges, including attempted murder and felony child abuse, after their adopted son was hospitalized for a series of health issues. Reed Carricker and Georgiana Carricker, both 42 of Salisbury, were jailed Wednesday for the second time during an investigation into treatment of the 11-year-old boy, according to the Salisbury Post. Reed Carricker took the unresponsive boy to the hospital on January 21st. He was found to have sepsis, hypothermia, and open wounds, and an affidavit for a search warrant said the boy also had an unknown mass in his stomach. Warrants served Wednesday also said the boy suffered from respiratory failure, acute kidney injury, septic shock, acute respiratory distress syndrome, and skin lesions. The Carrickers were each jailed on a $300,000 bond when the new charges were filed. In late January, they were charged with felony child abuse for neglect. The new child abuse charge is for causing their adopted son's injuries. Salisbury Police spokesman Lieutenant Justin Cruz said the boy is still recovering and will be placed in the care of the Department of Social Services. The boy's siblings have been placed in protective custody already. It's not known if the Carrickers have an attorney or not, but they will be prosecuted. 14 minutes after 8 o'clock, the next drawing coming up here in just a moment.
This is Dwayne Hunt with Insurance Service Associates, wanting to let you know that we have moved. Our new office is located at 245 East Main Street in Forest City. Come see us for auto, home, or your commercial insurance needs. Also come see me, Dwayne Hunt, for your Medicare supplements, Medicare Advantage, or prescription drug plans. See us at Insurance Service Associates, now located at 245 East Main Street in Forest City, or call 828-245-5301.
We have 3 more drawings, this one and one midday and then one this afternoon. And then on Monday morning, of course, around 10 minutes after 8 or so, we'll have the final drawing, big drawing for the grand prize of the Be My Baby. We'll thank all of you who have sent cards in or brought cards in to us. It's been a really good one, and we appreciate that, and wish we could give something to everybody, but we've had several good wins this week. We've drawn about 3 times a day all this week, and we've given away some great prizes. We got another one right here to give away. This one is a $10 gift card to Copper Penny in Forest City or Rutherfordton. They get great food there, and they're participating in this Be My Baby Valentine promotion. And it's a $10 gift card, and the card's been drawn. It says on the card, "Life is absolute bliss with the man of my dreams, Phil Aldridge." So if I sound like I'm in love, I am. He is pretty amazing. And this is Phil and Kim Aldridge of Forest City. So congratulations to the Aldridge family. They've got themselves now a $10 gift card from Copper Penny, and thank you for sending a card. Now you'll be in the drawing for the grand prize coming up here on Monday morning. So if you still want to get in on that, it's not too late, but you got to bring your card to us now. It's too late to mail them. We won't get them. I'll have to check the mail today. There may be some more there today, but after today, be too late to check the mail before the drawing on Monday. So you can bring it by here at 191 Whiteside Road in Rutherfordton. We have the Sheriff's Report with Sergeant Weathers coming up here in just a few moments.
I think we all agree drugs are a problem for Rutherford County. Hello, this is Theo, and I'm a candidate for sheriff. If you elect me as your next sheriff, I am committed to shutting down the drug houses. As a former state trooper and federal agent with 20-plus years of experience, I bring to the office of sheriff the training and determination to bring down the drug houses. I am committed to supporting the Second Amendment and following the Constitution. I'm asking for your vote in the Republican primary Tuesday, May 17th, paid for by Steve Theodoropoulos, Republican for Sheriff.
At Smith Drugs of Forest City, we are continuing to offer the COVID-19 rapid testing and the COVID-19 vaccinations. Please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591 with any questions or concerns that you may have. You may also visit our website at smithsdrugsfc.com and schedule your COVID Rapid-19 test or your vaccination. Again, if you have any questions, please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591.
It's that time again, time to get the flu vaccines. And Smith's Drugs in Forest City has the flu vaccinations available. Walk-ins Monday through Friday and Saturdays by appointment. And Smith's Drug is asking all their Dream Station and System 1 CPAP customers to call if you need any help with registering your recall devices. Just call the Home Medical Department for any help or with questions at 828-245-4591. And Smith's Drugs has the Moderna and Pfizer initial shots and the boosters. They also have the flu vaccines at Smith's Drugs of Forest City.
Shopping for your Valentine can be a breeze this year when you shop at Butler's Jewelry and Loan in downtown Forest City. You can find the perfect gift from the wide selection of rings, pendants, chains, earrings, and necklaces. Choose the gift that says how much you really care. After selecting the perfect gift, Butlers will be glad to wrap the gift for you free of charge. Ask about the custom imprinting of the name or a special message on the gift. Make Valentine's Day real special this year. You can do that with a stop at Butler's Jewelry and Loan in downtown Forest City.
Well, if you've been in there, you know that Anchor Down is the store to shop in, folks. They have just gotten 2 new loads, and as a matter of fact, Anchor Down gets a new load in every week. And here's some of the February specials and deals. Clothes, 25 cents. You'll be amazed. Shoes, 50 cents. You'll be amazed. And coats, $1. You'll be amazed. And furniture is half price, and I know you'll be amazed at that. Sure, the store is loaded, and you might have to step around some specials to get to some other specials, but it's worth it. Anchor Down is open Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday from 10 o'clock until 5. And I don't want you to be one of those that misses these deals at Anchor Down across from Carolina Chiropractic in downtown Forest City. Go in, do some shopping, look around, and tell them you heard Jim talking about them on the radio, and that'll help you find some specials. If you're looking for antiques, they've got some of those. They've got a great selection of clocks and clothes and shoes. It's just a great place to shop. Right downtown, right across from Carolina Chiropractic in Forest City. All right, Sergeant Weathers was with us earlier. Gave us a report from the Sheriff's Department. We recorded it for broadcast at this time.
Last 24 hours, the Sheriff's Office has responded to 129 calls for service. The jail has processed 18 arrests, and they are currently housing 158 inmates in the jail. On our incident reports, we have Karen Carpenter of Mooresboro reported a misdemeanor larceny. A white Ozark Trail cooler was stolen off her porch. We have a larceny motor vehicle reported by Adrian Camp of Forest City. That was a black and color Ford F-150 2003 model. We have a break and entering reported by James Curtis of Shelby, and he reported nothing was stolen on that incident. And we have a first-degree trespass and misdemeanor larceny reported by the Avondale Convenience Center on Ellenborough Henrietta Road. They had some scrap metal that was stolen. On our arrest reports, we have a James Pruitt of Ellenborough arrested for possession of Schedule II controlled substance and possession of drug paraphernalia. We have a Kayla Church of Ellenborough arrested for felony possession of Schedule II controlled substance and possession of drug paraphernalia. Brian Hendricks of Mooresboro was arrested for 3 counts of failure to appear on a felony. Billy Blanton of Mooresboro was arrested for failure to appear on a misdemeanor, 2 counts. Nicholas Bradley of Ellenborough was arrested for larceny of motor vehicle and failure to appear on a misdemeanor. Brian Shade of Lincolnton was arrested for failure to appear on a misdemeanor. Sherry Thompson of Ellenborough was arrested for felony probation violation. Leslie Ollis of Shelby was arrested for resisting a public officer. Ethan Towery of Ballstick was arrested on a true bill of indictment. Erin Isu of Rutherford was arrested for failure to appear on a misdemeanor. I think she had 9 counts total on that. And Nathan Harrell of Forest City was served with a show cause for failure to pay fines. And finally, we have Brandon Johnson of Ballstick was arrested for possession with intent to manufacture, sell, deliver methamphetamine, sell methamphetamine, deliver methamphetamine, maintain and place a controlled substance, sell or deliver heroin, and deliver heroin. He received a $35,000 secured bond on that charge. That's all we have for you today.
Thank you, Sergeant Weathers, for that report. Now, you folks have a wonderful weekend. Be safe out there and enjoy the game if you're going to watch the game. And don't be over drinking and don't be reckless driving when you leave the party, and enjoy your day, weekend, and Valentine's Day coming up on Monday. Here's one final story from Shaquille O'Neal. Shaquille O'Neal previously criticized the NBA player Kyrie Irving for choosing not to get jabbed, but now he's changed his mind on mandates. Former NBA star Shaquille O'Neal has changed his tune. There's still some people that don't want to take it, the former NBA center who is known by Shaq said on February 3rd episode of the podcast, and you shouldn't have to be forced to take something you don't want. O'Neal often led the league in points scored and won most valuable player titles for the season All-Star Game and NBA Finals. One of his co-hosts, Nichelle Turner, initially denied that people were being forced to take the jobs. I don't think people are being forced to take. Well, there are some. Listen, we have a mandate at CBS. That's forced, Shaq said. He kept reminding Turner that a mandate is forced. No, it's not forced, Turner said. It is forced because if a man don't take it, the man going to get fired, Shaq said. Turner also ignored the Biden administration's vaccine mandates, like the one covering health facilities receiving Medicaid and Medicare dollars. They're being forced, and Shaq says that's not good. I agree with him. Forcing him into something like that is not good. Listen, I'm going to play a little interlude music here, working our way into sports. We've got a sports update, then the bottom of the hour, Word of Faith Fellowship radio program. And right after 9 o'clock, get back into the oldies, classic oldies show. You love it. We love it. We love it. Let me see. We got a game. Let me look here on the schedule. We got a game coming up Saturday, UNC Florida State, 12:30 pregame. So join us for that Tar Heel game right here on WCAB in Rutherford. Have a great weekend, folks.
NCN Sports. Good morning. I'm Tony Rixby. Trevor Keels tied his career high with 25 points. Number 7 Duke beating Clemson last night 82-64 at Clemson. The game took an ugly turn late in the first half when Tigers guard David Collins undercut Wendell Moore Jr. on a breakaway dunk. Collins lost the ball to Moore with just over 3 minutes to go in the half. Moore took off what should have been an uncontested dunk. Instead, a charging Collins undercut him. Came down hard. Collins eventually ejected. Later, Clemson coach Brad Brownell brought Collins over to Duke coach Mike Krzyzewski to apologize.
I mean, Brad's an old school, damn good coach and good guy, you know, and he's good people, and his kids are good people. So, and again, we didn't want that to escalate. So the fact that he brought him and we did some interaction, I think that was really good, and you put it behind. And I told him, Brad apologized, and I said, please, let's just move on.
The Hurricanes clobbered the Bruins in Boston. Here's Dave Ferry.
Sebastian Aho scored twice, and the Hurricanes completed a 3-game season sweep by crushing the Bruins 6-0.
They ended our seasons 2 times in a row, I think. So for sure, you want to, have that, fire in you that if you want to win those games. But the score doesn't matter. It's just 2 points, and obviously we'll take it.
Andrei Svechnikov had a goal and 2 assists for Carolina, which outscored Boston by a 16-1 count in their 3 meetings. Frederik Andersen stopped 34 shots against the Bruins, who played the first of 6 straight games without Brad Marchand because of a suspension. Vincent Trocheck, Brett Pesce, and Jordan Stahl also scored, and Teuvo Teravainen had 3 assists. I'm Dave Ferry.
You're listening to NCN Sports.
With the potential threat of COVID-19, getting your kid vaccinated as soon as possible is really the right move to make.
Vaccinating our kids will protect them from severe disease, will prevent them from hopefully spreading it to other people who may not be able to get the vaccine.
Our whole goal is to help your child and your family be as safe and healthy as possible.
Kids have a spot
to take their shot.
Kids have a spot to take their shot.
Everyone 5 and older can get a COVID-19 vaccine. Visit myspot.nc.gov.
The world around us is changing rapidly, and the stakes are high to ensure that our state's rural leaders have access to and are equipped with the tools and resources to work towards resiliency for the future. Save the date to join the NC Rural Center for our annual Rural Summit on March 21st and 22nd as we celebrate our 35th anniversary and reconnect with a common goal of building a stronger tomorrow. Learn more about the Rural Summit and how to register at ncruralcenter.org.
Postseason award time in the NFL. Here's Mark Myers.
Green Bay's Aaron Rodgers was named the Associated Press NFL MVP for a 4th time. The Packers quarterback threw 37 touchdowns and led the team to a 13-4 record and the NFC North Division title. LA Rams receiver Cooper Kupp was voted Offensive Player of the Year, and linebacker T.J. Watt of Pittsburgh the game's best defensive star. Cincinnati receiver Jamar Chase and Dallas linebacker Micah Parsons were the top rookies. Tennessee's Mike Vrabel took home coaching honors. Mark Myers, Inglewood, California.
Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred says he hopes the lockout will not cause a delay to the season.
I am an optimist, and I believe we will have an agreement in time to play our regular schedule.
Negotiations resume tomorrow. Tony Rixby, NCN Sports.
Hello, everyone. We made it to a Friday, and we are going to see a beautiful day ahead. Expect a mostly sunny and warm day, breezy at times as well, with highs today in the upper 60s and lower 70s. For any evening and overnight plans you may have, expect a mostly clear sky. Temperatures will start in the low to mid 40s Saturday morning. Saturday afternoon, we'll see the clouds slowly increase. Expect a partly cloudy sky. Warm again as well, but then we'll see some colder temperatures with a chance for rain showers on Sunday. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
Thank you very much, Zach. We are now 32 degrees, and the sun is beginning to shine out there. It's going to be a beautiful day in the neighborhood, and with some warm temperatures, about 62 today, and wind gusting to about 15 miles per hour. Sunny on Saturday was 64, and Sunday around 50. So have a great weekend, folks. Enjoy the beauty of it, and be nice to your neighbor. It's time now for the Word of Faith Fellowship radio program, and with the program this morning is Ray Nenow and Harry Feasy.
Good morning. As always, a delight to be here. I'm here again with a friend of mine, Harry Feasy. We're going to try to continue on from another program we did in further expand on it and further talk about it. And it's once saved, always saved. And, I know from my own life, getting to know who Jesus was, meeting Jesus was a very important thing for me, but I didn't stop there. One of the ministers would always say to me, well, you got to meet Jesus, but then you got to go on to know him. And that's what we're talking about today. Absolutely. It's not just the meeting of Jesus. You've got to go on to know him, because you got to enter in the narrow gate.
Absolutely.
Because that was what was left. You got to come out of what was there. Come out of the world and go into what God has for you. Yeah. And when you enter into the narrow gate, God then brings you into holiness. And he begins to sanctify your life.
Absolutely.
And that's what Harry's going to talk about today. He's going to further share and tell you, in his life and all the different things that went on, and why he went on to know God. He didn't just leave it once saved, always saved. He went on to know God. And in knowing God, we become what he wants us to be.
Absolutely. Well, good morning, and it's great to be here again, and it's just a blessing, it really is. And I just want to continue from where we were last week, or where we finished off, and we shared about it's not just what we come out of, but what we're pursuing and what we're going to. And I just want to share a scripture before we start there, and it's from Philippians chapter 2, verse 12 to 13. And it says, "So then, my dear ones, just as you've always obeyed my instructions with enthusiasm, not only in my presence, but now much more in my absence," and I want you to listen to this bit, "continue to work out your salvation, that is to cultivate it, bring it to full effect, actively pursue spiritual maturity, with awe-inspired fear and trembling, using serious caution and critical self-evaluation." And in everything, that I come from today is not to pit one doctrine against another or anything like that, but is always to really pursue what is truth, what has brought you to the place, or what has brought me to the place that we walk in right now. And a lot of it is through critical self-evaluation. What do I believe? What is truth? And Paul goes on to say, to avoid anything that might offend God or discredit the name of Christ. For it is not your strength, but it is God who is effectively at work in you, both to will and to work, that is strengthening, energizing, and creating you the longing and the ability to fulfill your purpose for his good pleasure. And it's God's pleasure, and it's not to share just one scripture here or one scripture there, but to really, as the song says, when we all get to heaven, and the emphasis there is on all, what a joy it's going to be, what a blessing it's going to be, but it's all of us together, get into that place. And we went, last time we spoke about holiness, in the pursuit of holiness. And Hebrews 12:14, it says, "Strive to live in peace with everyone and pursue that consecration and holiness without which no one will ever see the Lord." And in order to walk in the holiness, we've got to strive to persevere and to keep going and going forward. And once saved, always saved, although it's not in the Bible, there is perseverance of the saints, that comes an eternal salvation. But once saved, always saved, and it might surprise you to hear me say this, is true. If, and there's a big if in this, if we continue pursuing holiness and endure to the end. And the word if is very, very important. And it's important in scripture. Whenever you see it, it's like the word therefore. We've got to see what it's there for. But if is like a gate. If I walked into this room today, if I came in through that door, I would be in this room. If I didn't, I'd be outside. So if is like a gateway. And in Colossians chapter 3, verse 1, one translation says, "If you have been raised with Christ to a new life, sharing his resurrection, then live the resurrection life." And there's a condition there. And Mark in chapter 24 also says, "But one thing, having endured to the end, you will be saved. And it also says in Mark 13, and you'll be hated and detested by everybody for my name's sake. But he who patiently perseveres and endures to the end will be saved. He'll be made a partaker of the salvation by Christ and delivered from spiritual death. And so salvation, and when we talk about being saved, I've been asked a lot of times, are you saved? When were you saved? Well, in my heart, I'm going to be saved when Jesus says, well done, my good and faithful servant. That is salvation. That is when we are going to be saved. And once saved, always saved. It is something which has come up through the time. I first started to hear about this. I shared last week about some of the experiences I had, about the conviction I had, but I never heard about once saved, always saved. I'd never heard about it. And then one preacher that I was listening to, his name was David Pawson, and he was physically just about removed from a platform for sharing some things to do with this. And I thought, whoa, what's going on? What's happening here? This is a strong situation here. And I started to look at it a little bit deeper, and I started to ask myself, where did this come from? And in 2 Corinthians 10, verse 5, it says, Paul said, we are destroying sophisticated arguments and every exalted and proud thing that sets itself up against the truth and the true knowledge of God. And we are taking every thought and purpose captive to the obedience of Christ. And I started to look down this, and the deception that I saw in this statement was very satanic, because it came to really deceive and to take you away from those that endure to the end shall be saved.
I know for us that's both important, because you can sit there and realize, and you look at your life and think, well, the devil does roam about. He does try to destroy.
Majorly.
So if these people are already on their way to heaven, why is the devil still trying to steal the gift?
Yes.
Because obviously he can. Otherwise, it wouldn't make any sense for him to constantly come at the saints, challenge the saints, constantly try to bring them out of what they are back into the world.
Into the world, yeah.
Yeah, and remove them so that in the end they will not be there.
And that's, we shared some of that last week. We've known each other for quite a long time. A long, long time. And, we've seen the ups and downs, the battles and the fights, and the real persecution that has come, and the encouragement that has come as well to keep you in that place that you will endure to the end. And you see that. But Satan it says in John 16, and Jesus is speaking about judgment here. It says, because Satan, the ruler, the evil genius of this world, is judged. But it says that he's an evil genius, and we think of genius as being, something very good. But an evil genius is really there all the time, and he comes in very subtle, deceptive ways to try and get you off the path.
Angel of light.
Yeah, an angel, whatever, and it goes on in Ephesians 2. To the end of that, it says you're obedient to and under control of the demon spirit that still constantly works in the sons of disobedience. And the sons of disobedience are defined as the careless, the rebellious, and the unbelieving who go against the purposes of God. That is the unbelieving. And if it was the truth, once saved, always saved, if it was the truth, it would be confirmed in the Word. I'm not picking out just scriptures here or scriptures there, but it will be confirmed by the Spirit of God in the Word, in our hearts. And another place I started to look at where it would also be confirmed, we have what Jesus said, what the apostles said, what they said, and then after that, the apostolic fathers. These are the people that were disciples to the apostles and then the early church fathers, what they said. And I just wanted to just share a couple of things, because I did look it up, and this is not going to be a bit about church history, but it's just what they said. And it's like my great-grandfather walking with Jesus and coming back and saying, look, this is what happened, And then 1,500 years later, somebody else bring in a new doctrine. I just want to share a couple of things on that. There was a person called Irenaeus who was he was a disciple of Polycarp, and Polycarp was a disciple of John. And so they were very close to what was being spoken. And it says, he said, but with respect to obedience and doctrine, we are not all the sons of God. Those only are so who believe in him and do his will. And those who do not believe and do not obey his will are sons and angels of the devil, because they do the works of the devil. And this was, you can look this up, it's in the Heresies, the book of Heresies that he wrote, book 41. But then he goes on to say, those who do not obey him have ceased to be his sons. And what is that? The conclusion that just as Justin Martin and other people, they believe that faith and obedience go together. And there's others there, you can look up Tertullian, you can look up all of these people, and yes, they're not canonized, they're not in just the New Testament, but they were within the sphere of influence of the apostles and the disciples after that. And yet, a few years later after that, or 1500 years to be precise, during the Reformation period, people like Calvin, that came out with Zwingli and in the Synod of Dort, they actually came up with their own, what they believed the interpretation of Scripture was. And one of them was very, as I see it, destructive, because it was called the perseverance of the saints. And I just want to read this one to you. And it says in Article 5, those whom God has unconditionally elected and for whom Jesus has died and whom God has irresistibly drawn to faith in Christ will inevitably persevere in their faith, and can neither totally nor finally fall away from Christ, because God will irresistibly, means that their will is not involved, cause them to persevere. Therefore, the blessed eternal destiny with God is secure. The perseverance is not based on the believer, on whom may waver and actually fall into serious sin, like we were talking about, for periods of time, but rather is based on the continued grace of God. And it really takes the man's free will out of the equation there. And those who appear to be believers but fall away from the faith and die without faith in Christ demonstrate that they had not truly come to the saving faith in the first place. Basically saying that if somebody doesn't make it, they were never true believers in the first place.
But that's what's always said.
Yeah.
And when, they want, that's what always comes out, and they say, oh, well, the reason it didn't happen is this, because they didn't really know. I remember very clearly, when Jesus wanted to start a work in me. I was very heavily on drugs. Yes. Heavily on drugs. Mm-hmm. And in that one night, all that left.
Yes. Now,
From that point on, it was still a fight.
Mm-hmm.
It did not cease. I would love to have had stopped and, this is great. Now everything is fine and we don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
But it's been a fight, uphill fight. And, that's where you think how Paul says, I've fought the good fight.
Yeah.
We have to fight a fight.
I shared last week, about a period of my life where that conviction of sin, and I wasn't expecting it. It was just something totally happened. It was like the power of God fell. I didn't even know what repentance was. And he showed me every single thing in my life that I had done, and it was like a darkness, and all I could do was just cry and say, I'm so sorry, God, I'm so sorry, God. But even after that, there were periods, where the devil comes and tries to grab you, tries to pull you away. And, in that, it says, he who endures to the end, because there is, and there can be, maybe share a couple of scriptures later, that Christians can fall away. That, those that have had these experiences have been saved, and there is a will, and if their will decides to take them outside of the things of God, outside of the Christian sphere, the area there, they can fall away.
It was like what you shared. I thought it was very good what you shared last week about the revivals.
Yes.
And how, when you went back and went into those areas only to find little or no evidence that God was there.
There was, and that was the big revival that was in the Isle of Lewis in Scotland, and I was with people whose fathers were in that, and it was like it shut down industries, it shut down drinking houses, it shut down everything. People were lying on the streets crying out under that, under God,
convicting power.
That conviction, and they were crying out. But when I went back, and I saw that one of the biggest communities in Great Britain that had experienced that, and I listened to the people and the church, it was like it was never there. I couldn't believe it. It was like the world. It was there. And, it was like when I was in Scotland, I was in a church there, and it was going on. It was incredible. It was great. It was like the Word of God. It was what I was speaking about here, but it fell away. It fell, and it was almost like it.
Well, and again, one of your examples last time we spoke, or shared about Peter. I mean, Peter, expressed and acknowledged that Jesus was the Christ.
That's right, and he would die with him.
And would die, and yet went on and denied him.
He denied him 3 times, he did.
Yeah, so...
But then he goes on to,
he goes on to
he
know
endures to the end. He went
endures.
on.
That's
he
exactly.
went on and he went on, And it says, that one of the things that I saw from, the culture of once saved, always saved was it becomes a tradition. It becomes part of a culture. It becomes part of a denominational issue, And I believe that's one of the most divisive and destructive influences there are. And it really doesn't matter what denomination, it does matter, don't get me wrong when I say this, but it doesn't matter what church denomination or doctrine you want to follow or what culture you come from. If you do not seek the truth, which leads to godliness, and that's what Titus 1 speaks about, we can be lost. And if you fellowship with a group, and I've experienced this, long enough, and you don't seek the truth, then you will eventually assimilate and become assimilated within that belief system. And you've got to go and you've got to say, Jesus, what is this truth? And you've got to cry out with your whole heart for what is it? Otherwise, if there is error in places, then you will come under that error too. It says, but we stand, before the judgment seat of God. And we're not alone when we do that. We are alone. I'm sorry. Take that back. We are alone. We're not with the denomination. We're not with our pastors. We're not with, and it's important to listen, to hear. But when truth is there, you've got to really hear what is truth, because we are accountable for all we've had. And our citizenship is in heaven. That's what we're looking for. That's where we're going to, what we need to be seeing. And I never had a U.S. passport, and this was important.
And then it's like you said, God is bringing us through unto holiness.
Yes.
To prepare us for heaven.
Yes.
We're not here to build our own kingdoms, to build what we think is right.
Yes.
And which so many times is what steals people away.
It does.
I think I have a situation in my own life where a close person basically, he denied truth, and then walked away and decided he was going to accept greater the things he was doing in the world.
Yes. Yeah.
And allow that to become truth in his life. And in the end, it steals. It steals the very implanting of that gift that God had there.
And I've experienced that myself with friends, and you think this could never happen.
Right.
It can never happen. And yet when it happens, it's like shock, unbelief, disbelief that this has actually happened. But it happens, and therefore we have to be on our guard all the time, because it says the devil is an evil genius. He roams around.
And they deny God. I mean, in the end, you begin to watch them, and it grows to a point of denial of the very things that brought them out in the first place.
Absolutely. And this has gone on, the once saved, always saved doctrine into such a place that there are some very famous pastors, and I don't want to denigrate anything that they say, but there is one particular area, and I'll quote from some of them, And there's one that says, even if a believer, for all practical purposes, becomes an unbeliever, his salvation is not in jeopardy. That directly flies in the face of what the word says. And last, this is another quote, and last, believers who lose or abandon their faith will retain their salvation, for God remains faithful. He does remain faithful to those who endure to the end, who
Right.
keep going, because, I mean, that is what he's talking about all the time. Additionally, there's a few quotes here, and it says, you and I are not saved because we have enduring faith. We are saved because at a moment in time we express faith in our Lord. And we shared about some of that last week, out of Romans 10, that also in 1 Corinthians, it says no one can say Jesus Christ is Lord except by the Spirit of God. And it is the Spirit of God that will take us to that place. And he also goes on to say, this is the same person. It is possible to be a child of God and never a disciple of Christ. We can live the Christian life with the assurance of heaven as our ultimate destiny, but miss the process of maturing as a disciple. And you and I have both been to different places, spoken with different people, been to funerals, and where, Johnny, when he was whatever age, gave his life to Jesus, and therefore he's in heaven. And it's a great comfort to believe that way, but it's a false comfort, and it's just not there. And the majority of a lot of the evangelicals that I've listened to believe this and want to believe it because it has a comfort zone in it. It's like a get out of jail free card almost, you can just go there.
Let me read this because, it may be part of what you were going to say, but I want to say it because the second verse of it's very important. It's in Revelations 3:21 where it says, he that overcomes is victorious. I'll grant him to sit beside me on the throne as myself overcame, was victorious, and sat down beside my Father on the throne. But this is the part I want you to hear. I want the people to hear. It says, he who is able to hear, let him listen to and heed what the Holy Spirit says to the assemblies of the church.
Yes.
What's being said right now, you need to be open to hear it. Don't lock up here. It says he that overcomes.
Yeah. And as I was really preparing this, I looked at that whole what they said to the churches, and it says he who has ears to hear, And when you look through those, that's maybe for another time, but you look through there, it's have ears to hear. We want to hear. I want to hear. Ray wants to hear. But we all want to hear, and we all want to get to heaven, to have that day of rejoicing together. In Revelation 3, where you were coming from, it says, he who overcomes the world through believing that Jesus is the Son of God will accordingly be dressed in white clothing. And I will never blot out his name from the book of life, and I will confess and openly acknowledge his name before my Father and before his angels, saying that he is one of mine. And it says those that are dressed in white clothing, those that have persevered to the end, those that have
come to understand the holiness, the sanctification of God.
And when you look at that white clothing, I was kind of reminded of the parable of the wedding feast.
Right.
And in that parable, and it's in Matthew, it says, he says, Jesus spoke to them again in parables, and it says, the kingdom of heaven may be compared to a king who gave a wedding feast for his son. And as you read the parable, he sends out to the people that were elected and invited, and they didn't come. And then he sent out to others, and they didn't come. In actual fact, they persecuted the very messengers that came. Then he said, go out into the highways and the byways. This is what he said. But he said, you would go out to the highways and the byways and take all the good and the bad and bring them all in. And that's where we are. And then he said, but when the king came into the dinner guests, he saw a man there who was not dressed appropriately in wedding clothes. And he said this, and this is what really showed me the heart of God. He said, friend, this is to the man who wasn't dressed. Friend, how did you come in here without wearing wedding clothes that were provided for you? And the man was speechless and without excuse. And I don't want to stand, and I don't want you to stand, and I don't, anybody to stand before God and be speechless and without excuse, because we've all had opportunities to hear truth And when we hear that truth, it's up to us to go into that place to find out what it is that God has been saying to us. And if we go down any other areas in this false doctrines or heresies or anything else, and we start to believe that because it's comfort to us, then he will say, how did you get in here? How? And the man was speechless. Then the king said to the attendants, tie him hand and foot and throw him into the darkness outside. In that place there will be weeping over sorrow and pain, and grinding of teeth over distress and anger. For many are called, invited, and summoned, but few are chosen.
I mean, and it kind of goes directly against what the different pastors and the different things that you read, that they're able to escape not walking with God, not allowing him to bring them into that place of holiness. Yeah. They're able to be without Jesus, but yet still enter into heaven.
Still enter in, and that's the comfort card, And if you don't want to pursue righteousness, and it's a fight, it's a battle to overcome. Keep overcoming all the time. I can tell you the times that, as I said, our citizenship is in heaven, and I liken this in a little way, because I was not a citizen of the U.S.
Right.
And I am now, and I can hold up a passport, but that road to citizenship. That citizenship is based on the Constitution. You allegiance to that. You take that oath, and I took it very, very seriously. But the battle to get there was very, very strong. I just want to read you something from Hebrews as well. It says, "For it is impossible to restore to repentance those who have once been enlightened spiritually, and who have tasted and consciously experienced the heavenly gift, and have shared in the Holy Spirit, and have tasted and consciously experienced the good word of God and the powers of the age to come, and then have fallen away. It is impossible to bring them back again to repentance, since they again nailed the Son of God to the cross. For as far as they were concerned, they are treating the death of Christ as if they were not saved by it, and are holding him up again to public disgrace. For soil that drinks the rain which often falls on it and produces crop useful to those for whose benefit it is cultivated receives a blessing from God. But if it persistently produces thorns and thistles, it is worthless and close to being cursed, and its end up will be burned." And it's like it totally goes against some of the things that we've been reading. In Hebrews chapter 10, verse 26, and there's a couple of scriptures here I was trying to leave last week, but I didn't have time. "For if we go on willfully and deliberately sinning, after receiving the knowledge of the truth, there no longer remains a sacrifice to atone for our sins. That is, no further offering to anticipate, but a kind of awful and terrifying an expectation of divine judgment, and the fury of a fire and burning wrath which will consume the adversaries, those who put themselves in opposition to God. Anyone who has ignored and set aside the law of Moses is put to death without mercy on the testimony of 2 or 3 witnesses. How much greater punishment do you think he will deserve who has rejected and trampled underfoot the Son of God, and has considered unclean the common the blood of the covenant that sanctified him, and has insulted the Spirit of grace who imparts the unmerited favor and blessing of God? For we know him who said, 'Vengeance is mine. Retribution and deliverance of justice rest with me. I will repay the wrongdoer, and again the Lord will judge his people.' It is a fearful and terrifying thing to fall into the hands of the living God, incurring his judgment and wrath." And that's where we just do not want to go. We don't want to be standing before him, without excuse, and just standing there in that place. We just don't want to do it. There's one verse here that's often quoted, and I've heard